Do you love being inspired by other crafters? Then you're gonna love this new collaboration. Hi, I'm Jess from JessCrafts.com, and I'm here to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Today, I am excited to announce that I'll be part of a collaboration that is hosted by Call Me Crafty Owl. It is the Oh So Inspired collaboration, where a bunch of crafty YouTubers are all going to be inspired by the same card and make our own versions of it. You can click the hashtag in the title or a link in the video description and it will take you to the other crafters who are participating, and you can also play along, and there's a hashtag so that we can find your cards and see what you've done if this gets the creativity flowing watching all of these different takes on it and you have your own idea. So for the month of January, we're all going to be inspired by the artist JJ Bolton, who is at Ribbon Girls on Instagram. This is the specific card, but there'll be links to this specific inspiration and to her Instagram so that you can follow her because she makes some gorgeous cards. And today, I'm going to take some inspiration from this card and recreate it with some tips and tricks for you. So I am trying to focus on using my Spellbinders card kit of the month several times. And I have yet to use the dies. I used a lot of the pattern paper. And so when I saw this inspiration and I knew there were a bunch of leaf dies in the coordinating die for the kit, I was like, this is perfect. Also, because, it was very serendipitous, there were frames in the card kit that I hadn't gotten a chance to use yet, and there's a frame on this card. There's also these little clear, they're not gems, but they're just little clear droplets on the card, and the card kit had come with some gems that I hadn't yet used. So it just felt like the universe was conspiring to tell me to get together and, make this happen. I will often make a lot of cards by using pattern paper, but I said I used all the pattern paper in the kit, so now I wanted to think of a way that I could use, or could make a lot of similar cards, but not exactly the same, and use what else I had left. So there was some cardstock still left in the kit, and so I cut all of my leaves from the cardstock, and of course, like I said, there were the gems, but they didn't all match. So the card inspiration is rainbow, but I was gonna try to kind of simplify by going to more of a monochromatic, but yet then I couldn't find an exact, if there was yellow cardstock, there wasn't yellow gems. So I'm gonna do two colors on my cards. My first card I already showed you, I chose some pink and mint. And I chose the pink for the cardstock, but the mint, I chose the gems. I thought those two looked pretty together, and then I pulled in the color of the gems with my ink. This stamp is not actually from the card kit. There is a stamp of the month from Spellbinders, but I don't have it. So I used a scrapbook.com set of alphabets and some of their wordfetti. And I just used a scrap of paper to help me decide if I had everything positioned correctly in my MISTI so that I can stamp this a few times. I can make several of this card with the different cardstocks that are left and the different colors of gems. So I will stamp this in my new set of colors. I saw that the yellow worked pretty well with this color, and then I went to my ink swatches and I saw that my Guava ink, once dried, was pretty similar in color to these gems, and so that's how I was picking my inspiration. While I did use a scrap paper to help me make sure that everything looked pretty good because I was using individual alphabet stamps, I did not make everything perfectly lined up because I thought that the quirkiness actually kind of worked well for this sort of card that has everything kind of haphazardly spread apart or spread out across the card. And so I've also glued my frame down on my second card, and I can keep going because until I run out of gems, until I run out of cardstock, which is never gonna happen, it's more the gems or the frames that are going to limit me, although there are some additional frames in the kit. So I'm looking forward to being able to make many multiples of these. And since I have laid out all of these die cuts, and they are die cuts, I can repeat the process by just die cutting that same amount every time and then just kind of generally fitting them, like, oh, I put a big leaf over here, so I'm going to glue this down on my second card. Oh, this sprig went here, and it doesn't have to be exact, but once I've come up with the design one time, I'm going to be able to recreate it. If they were stamps, I could, in my Misty, then maybe I could just keep stamping them over and over again, but you probably wouldn't have this many, and so you'd probably have to keep shifting things around. So the die cuts work out pretty nicely for still being able to kind of copy a pattern. I want to share one last tip before you head on to the next interpretation, the next inspiration for this collaboration, and that is when I have all these little die cut pieces hanging over, I find it easier to trim them with a scissor from the back than using my paper trimmer, particularly in this fold line, because I'm always afraid I'm gonna mess up the edge of the card, and I just have a little bit more control with scissors. Long-handled scissors like these from Tim Holtz are particularly awesome for that kind of thing. And if you are having trouble and you you have a little bit more white space than you want, which I didn't have that issue this time, you can take these offcuts and then use them to keep filling in different areas of your card. These don't have to necessarily be thrown out. If you found this video inspiring, here's another video from a different collaborator in the challenge where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.